So I've been studying shopping behavior for about 18 plus years now. Previously built and sold an in-store shopping app company that I actually founded at Babson. Brands, retailers, and solution providers are struggling with this massive amounts of video content, how to capture it, understand it, and leverage it to drive their key KPIs such as engagement and conversion. So a company like Nike or L'Oreal or Procter & Gamble's of the world, they have massive amounts of video content. Nike has over 25 million videos. A lot of them are UGC on user-generated content on YouTube. Yes, and I do have a number of eyewear recommendations for you, so we can talk about that offline in the podcast.
So, hi everyone. I have very fortunate to have Ajay, a fellow Babson MBA alum, who has quite an interesting journey so far. And if his glasses is something to go by, his whole career is something pretty amazing. He's worked in Nokia. He's worked as a lecturer in the Ivy schools. And right now he's doing, I would dare say, on the cutting edge of the next phase of where e-commerce is essentially heading to right now. It's a real pleasure to have you, Ajay, and I would love to, and me and everyone who's listening would love to hear what you have been up to, what you've seen, and of course, I will get your glasses soon enough.
Well, first of all, Akhil, thank you very much for having me on the podcast. Always a pleasure to meet another fellow Babson. So I'm absolutely thrilled to be on the podcast. And yes, and I do have a number of eyewear recommendations for you, so we can talk about that offline in the podcast.
Yeah.
So a quick introduction on myself. So as Akhil mentioned, an entrepreneur. So I've been studying shopping behavior for about 18 plus years now. Previously built and sold an in-store shopping app company that I actually founded at Babson out of the entrepreneurship center there in 2001 when I graduated from the program. And so essentially we had built a mobile app where you can scan and tag inside retail stores with your phone, and you can check out on your phone as well. So we increased the basket size by sending you promos as you walk around, and setting your shopping behavior to buy more. And we also cut the lines at the kiosks. So long story short, I was the CTO co-founder for that. Ended up selling that company in 2009 to Catalina. And then after that, I went to work at Nokia, the phone company, where I was very fortunate to be on the global product management team to really launch the App Store in about 35 plus countries around the world. And a tremendous opportunity to really learn about shopping behaviors, both in US as well, but also abroad as well. And there was so much to with what happened with Nokia, and hopefully Nokia will make a comeback again with new phones. You never know. It's a company that's really innovated itself many, many times. But that aside, so after Nokia, I was then at UC Berkeley teaching for a little bit. I wanted to give back. I was teaching innovation at Haas for a couple of years. And then while I was there, that's when I started my next company, which is what I'm working on right now, which is Viral. And really the inspiration behind Viral is just very simple. A lot of shoppers are now watching videos, unboxing videos, how-to videos and more before they shop. And they're making a lot of videos after they shop as well. So brands, retailers, and solution providers are struggling with this massive amounts of video content, how to capture it, understand it, and leverage it to drive their key KPIs such as engagement and conversion. So how do you make sense of massive amounts of video data is really the hyper focus for us here at Viral. Yeah, and so, by background, I'm both a computer scientist and an MBA, so I can touch upon the different aspects of the business, and really love what I do here at Viral. We're really solving a big problem.
Yeah, and based on, we have spoken a few times before, and you did mention that Viral is currently working with a few massive brands and also a lot of emerging brands as well. And from your experience working with, brands who work with the Viral, what is the real value add that you have experienced them relate to you? And, in the absence of viral, what other alternatives do they have at this point?
Yeah, that's a great question. So today, if you look at the mid-market and the enterprise brands who have a lot of video content, so a company like Nike or L'Oreal or Procter& and Gamble's of the world, they have massive amounts of video content. Nike has over 25 million videos. A lot of them are UGC on user-generated content on YouTube. And I'm not even counting TikTok right now into the mix. L'Oreal has over 15 million videos. Procter& and Gamble, among their 150 brands, probably has over 25 million videos as well. So the problem today is, when it comes to video is videos on average can anywhere be from 30 seconds to 15 minutes long. And the bottom line is no one has time to watch videos, right? I mean, and also if you were to hire 10 people to watch a video and understand it, the 10 people are going to have 10 very different points of view on understanding, capturing and understanding video content. And I think this is where AI is actually very helpful, meaning you can actually train machines to watch videos, which is what we do here at Varo, to really help brands capture video content. So we capture video content today from social media for them. We're helping capture videos for them from the review platforms. We're helping them capture videos directly with first-party data, with campaigns and stuff. So essentially, we're helping them capture video content at scale. Once it's captured, we then analyze the audio, text, images, and transcription in 15 dimensions. So everything from sentiment analysis to scene analysis to demographic, diversity, brand safety, product safety, engagement, video summaries, all of that. And what Varo has done is we have built a rating system now. So we actually rate every single video with a score on a scale of 1 to 100. And we can actually tell you whether the video is good or bad just looking at the score. So for example, if the score is about 70 on a scale of 1 to 100, the video is brand safe. It's very high sentiment. You can publish the video programmatically at scale. If it's below 70 to 40, you can have some moderation. And if it's below 40, maybe it's a negative sentiment, but it can be a great insight for you as a brand. So we're able to, so for one of our customers, a CPG brand, we have analyzed 12,000 videos in 48 hours to give them insights on so there's a number of ways brands are leveraging the platform. Number one is, hey, I want to know what people are saying positive and negative about my brand. This can be used both by my social media team to promote new content that's doing really well. It can be used both by product managers and brand managers to understand what's really working well with customers, or what's not working well with the customers as well. Or perhaps they're asking for a new color for lipstick, right? There may be some mentions, and there might be even competitive mentions as well that you might be interested in following as well. So we help brands do a lot, capture insights in sort of 4 areas: sentiment, engagement, demographic, and speech, to really understand, just help them generate SEO keywords and messaging. They can also do competitive analysis as well. And then they can capture first-party data and really build a whole supply of pipeline of UGC videos, and then use that video content to really drive those KPIs. And more importantly, our strong focus is UGC. So UGC content is very difficult to actually analyze because it's all over the place. So that's one of the key problems we have solved, is how to really dig through massive amounts of UGC data and leverage all this data with licensing at scale. And, as you know, videos are very compelling. I mean, brands that leverage video have seen over 18% increase in revenue and 2x to 3x increase in engagement on their pages. And the reason is, at the end of the day, customers trust other customers, right? They want to know what other people that look like them are talking about their product and brand. So UGC content really drives that point, is seeing a person like yourself buying a product. So yeah, so those are some of the areas where we're helping a number of brands in the CPG space really leverage UGC video content.
Very nice. You've showed me your dashboard. I think one of the coolest things that I've seen, I don't think even platforms like YouTube or any of the major video hosting sites are even cracked, is the ability to categorize UGC efficiently, accurately, in a way that makes sense and adds value for the customers. Because when you work with an agency and you create professional level videos, it's pretty easy to categorize them because it's all standard, structured, and but when you have the ability to manage, optimize, and control UGC and categorize them in a way, I think it provides much more credibility for the end users, and of course, huge value for the brands as well. Another, I think, question that I had for you, you have been in the industry for a while, you've sold companies, you've taught, and through Viral, you're, one would say, a cutting edge on the next phase of e-commerce. So in your opinion, let's say 5-10 years down the line, how would you envision e-commerce, the whole industry, to be? Because it's ever changing. People are trying to integrate AI. Some of us, like you, have succeeded. And it will definitely keep evolving as more players, as more brands come. So in your mind, where do you think the whole e-commerce industry is going?
Yeah, so that's a great question. It's a very loaded question as well. So many things going on the e-commerce side. But I think I'm very fortunate to be on the leading edge of where e-commerce is going. So I'll start first with on the shopping side of things, right? I think what's going to happen is we're going to see extremely rich and engaging experience, meaning they will start with video, and you combine video with AR and VR, where imagine a customer makes a review of a car, and you can actually place yourself in the car yourself, driving the car, right? And being able to visualize how that might look like, right? And we're already seeing some of this happen with furniture companies. Like you can actually now place a sofa virtually in your living room, right? And so I think we're going to see extremely rich, very compelling video and immersive shopping experiences. And this is also an area where, at Viral, one of the key problems we have solved is how to really, if you're a shopper, you're on the BMW website, and let's say there are 35 video reviews on the page, and you're looking for a car, Akhil, with leather seats. I'm looking for a car with child seats. So today, if there are 35 videos, you honestly cannot search the video, and no one has time to watch videos. So most people abandon the video experience. But imagine a different kind of experience where you're able to search video content, and you're able to instantly find that portion of the leather seats, and it's able to then show you all the clips featuring leather seats and really help you quickly make shopping decisions, right? Or we're able to even surface leather seats from 3 other models, car models, perhaps from other competitors as well, right? So imagine where that's going. That's going to start creating a whole new way of leading with video content and shopping experiences. So I think I see sort of multiple areas where things are going to significantly improve. One is multimedia search and overall shopping experiences. The second is we're going to see hyper-personalization coming across as well, with rich media as well. So depending on your age, ethnicity, demographic, country, language, so many different parameters, right? When you're on the fashion side, and if they're able to know your height and your age and your gender, imagine the better recommendations that you can actually get on what you can wear and what they actually have, what they can ship, right? So we're going to see a lot of interesting, we're also going to see amazing in-store experiences as well. Imagine being able to point and click at any product inside Walmart, and instantly on a screen, you can see the video reviews. You can see the pricing. You can see some other competitive data on that, right? Just simply by pointing your camera, right? And I think this is where the QR code evolution finally has taken off, right? We're seeing QR codes everywhere. Just yesterday, I saw an ad for a new product that I was just very intrigued, and they had a nice QR code on the ad itself, and I just scan sitting in my living rooms, and it opens up the ad, right? And so that's one. These are some of the on the shopping experiences. The other areas where I think we're going to see in general, what I'm also talking to other e-commerce partners is around logistics and supply chain as well. I think more transparency, more efficiency on how that is all going to happen. I think during COVID, clearly there were some bad logistical issues with a number of things that are and shipping and all that. So I think we're also going to see some radical improvements happening on that side of the business as well.
Got it. I completely agree with you. And I think one other aspect that could emerge because of the emergence of AI and more technology being inbuilt in, it's like companies like Viral and to an extent Xena and a few other people in this space, is the ability to democratize this massive value, this massive power, to help smaller brands or brands that are emerging, may not have the resources of a Fortune 100
Right.
company. They will have access to, let's say, for example, all the UGCs and characterizations, and in a way help them compete with much larger brands who who have 1,000 people working and doing the same thing. I think that is another interesting thing that would eventually emerge with more companies like us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're spot on, right? I mean, I think that, and Amazon started this process, right? I mean, Amazon made things doable for even a small merchant that they couldn't do before, right?
Mhm.
So I think you're absolutely spot on. Like, I think the access to all tools is going to faster, quicker, and at scale.
Mhm. Yeah, and finally, I'm very curious to know if you've taught, you've been in the industry. What would your advice be for the other entrepreneurs? I'm sure hundreds, thousands of them trying to get into e-commerce AI space. And also, if you could share a couple of words about your personal branding regarding your intriguing eyewear, which I'm always found to be interesting. Would love your thought process, and also a couple words for the emerging entrepreneurs as well.
Yeah. So first of all, let me start with the entrepreneur advice. I think no one cares about whether it's AI or something else that's solving a problem. All people care about is, what problem are you solving for me? How are you solving it? And how does this bring efficiencies for me? So AI is just a tool. I mean, tomorrow there's Gen AI, maybe 10 years down the line, there's some other cool technology that could happen, right? Another paradigm shift might happen. So at the end of the day, I would say that focus on a problem, understand whether the customer actually has the problem or not. So actually talk to your customers, a lot of customer interviews. Once you've identified the problem, focus on what the solution is and whether the customer is willing to pay for it. Just because they say that they have a problem doesn't mean it's a priority and it's top of their mind and they're willing to pay for it. So I think it's really important to really figure out that, is this a problem that they're willing to pay now? So, when you're starting a company, it's all about timing. A lot of companies fail not because they don't have a cutting edge product, because their timing was off, right? I mean, even for Varrow, I think that if you had asked me 6 years ago, even 8 years ago, if we had been successful, the answer would be no. Because 8 years ago, there was no hardware and software, AI hardware and software to actually do analyze content at scale. I mean, I'll give you an example. Face recognition has been around for 35 years. Face recognition has been around at the airports. But face recognition to analyze 3 trillion videos has only happened in the last 2 years with hardware and software from NVIDIA and the GPUs and the CPUs, right? So hence the timing of being able to do what Varrow does has been pertinent, right? The other thing I would say is focus on one thing and do it well. I mean, even at Varrow, we have so many use cases and we can do everything. And that's something that our leadership is constantly keeping an eye on, is not be distracted. Just do one thing and do it well. So that's my quick tips for an entrepreneur. On the eyewear side of these things, I'll just say that this was not designed by AI. I designed it working with a company in London, actually, Qubit. I also will say that design doesn't have to be expensive. You're thinking that, every piece of eyewear that Ajay wears is $600. No, it's not. I've actually had an $89 eyewear made from bamboo that's been very popular as well. But long story short, it's really been an icebreaker, to be honest, my eyewear. Also, it adds a little bit of fun element. Our lives on Zoom, our lives in general, there's lots going on. There's a lot of stress. Adding a little bit of color, right, just adds a little bit of fun to it. And I will say this, that my ROI is very strong on my glasses. I mean, I get first class upgrades. I get wine. People think I'm somebody, but I'm not. As they think I'm some big high profile designer, and I'm not. But it just adds a element of color and fun in both in my life and the people I'm connecting with. So I really enjoy that.
Fascinating. And plus, you are high profile. You're building something pretty cool, and you've they are right on that one to give you upgrades.
I hope so. I hope me and my company are useful and in some capacity to everyone.
Of course. And finally, what's next for Viral? What you're working on? Is there going forward? Anything interesting that you're up to? Just for the listeners to know.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, lots going on. First of all, we're going to simplify the shopping experiences for shoppers. We're rolling out in-video search on more than 5,000 brands and retailers.
Yeah.
So as a shopper, you will not have to watch and wait or skip all those videos. So you'll be able to find what you're searching for inside video content across multiple sites. We're also integrating with a number of both brands and retailers and review platforms as well to really help bring more UGC content into the mix. Because UGC ultimately does drive the key KPIs, engagement and conversion and customer acquisition. And really, the other big problem we're working on is the SEO problem, right? So today, Google cannot really understand if you have videos on your site. Google cannot really read those videos. They don't, and hence Google will not surface video content in your search results. Mm-hmm. So Varl is building tools now. So when you publish a video to your site, it comes with SEO built in with transcript and all the tags. So we can help you do more custom acquisition with video and Google and all the search engines have already prioritized video over text. And what we're also hearing is Google is prioritizing, given given that the tsunami of AI generated video content is coming about.
Yeah.
Google is very clear that they're going to give more priorities to personalized content actually created by people with real opinions versus a machine making something up. Yeah. So this also is another reason why UGC and is even going to get even more important, because at the end of the day, it's both the search engine and other shoppers saying, hey, we want to hear from other people, not AI. So with that, I think AI has its purpose and place, and so does a real voice of a customer. And I'll end with that.
Thank you so much, Ajay. I think this has been pretty interesting. And thanks again for making the time. And I know we are working on some back-end partnerships internally since we almost operate in the same space. I truly, truly believe that any e-commerce brands, and right at this point, I'm sure there are millions, would find what you're building extremely valuable. And I hope I can be a small role in making sure it reaches to more people. But thanks again, Ajay.
Yeah, thank you. Looking forward to it.
All right.